PTF back with you to talk about Santa Anita Derby Day as our coverage of the great race place continues. Hello to everybody listening on the In the Money Players podcast. Hello to everybody watching on YouTube. They're not here to see me. They're here to see today's guest. She's going to be busy in the Money Media Network. She's not only been rocking out episodes of the Owner's Box, she has on her calendar for next week an opportunity to wipe the floor with other In the Money team members for the third year in a row in our Triple Crown draft. But she's here today to talk stakes with me. She's, of course, Michelle Yu. Michelle, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Just, in between horses and more horses and children. And today I had to take my mom to the airport. My mom got this crazy hair up her butt that she wanted to move to Italy. So she's gone to Italy.
Whoa, that's exciting, though.
Ask me how much Italian my mom speaks.
2
words.
I was trying to find the Italian to say no words. I think we got that
exactly.
Senza parole. Where in Italy?
So she would love to live in like Positano, but I don't think her budget allows for that. She hasn't garnered enough babysitting credits for that. So she's actually on like a full-on Italian tour trying to find like what little village, feeds her soul.
I love this. It's so crazy. I love it. I can see the resemblance between her crazy life choices and yours. Let's put it that way. Let's dive into these races, my friend.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about. We'll do the Calbred Stakes too, because they make the part of what makes this such an interesting card. We'll start off with the Echo Eddie Stakes that goes as number 2. I was most interested in number 5 here. Drop 'em. To me, just looked like an ideal candidate for the cutback in distance. Thought that was reasonable to tire, going farther, tricky trip a little bit last time in between horses. And I thought could be in prime stalking position here. Turnback's such a good tool to improve a horse's finish. What do you think of Drop 'em in the Echo Eddie?
Well, I certainly love a turn back in distance. It just gives you that added fitness. He looks like he's working really well at Santa Anita. He has a bullet drill coming in. But I know they had thought of some other spots for him, including putting him in for a claiming tag one day. Did I lose you?
No, I have this new fun tool where I can make you. I'm like, oh, she's gonna go here for a minute. I'm gonna put her solo. Check it out.
Oh, I thought I lost you. I don't like that at all.
Good.
That is way too. Look at my bed. My guest room is
all right. We'll tighten up the shot. Tighten up the shot. Okay, there you go. You happy now? You
gave me heart palpitations right now. Okay.
People listening have no idea what we're talking about. Go on YouTube and check it out.
So we went from a skinny picture of me to like a full frame photo of my guest room, and I wasn't expecting it, and I thought that like the whole call drop that I was talking to air. Basically,
we'll leave it right here. Don't you worry about a thing. Continue with your drop 'em. Drop 'em. You said maybe was entered in for another type of a spot.
Yes, I do believe, and I have to like check the price, but I'm pretty sure they entered him for like a $50,000 claiming tag, and opted not to run there, obviously, and so he's in this spot. So that's a positive if you like him. But when his better races, he was near the front, and I just don't think he's fast enough for Southern California. As far as that goes, they do add the blinkers, so maybe that sharpens him up just enough. And I'm pretty sure that 47 gate drill was with the hood added. So, I mean, there are positives to him, but he's just not my favorite. I really like I'm a Bad Boy, even though he is turning back and going from turf to dirt. He has plenty of dirt for him to look at. Luis Mendez knows how to win races. He's connecting at a super solid 28%. Maldonado sticks aboard him. And this horse has been very competitive at multiple levels, distances, surfaces. He is a quintessential Calbred, as I like to say. So for me, I'm certainly going to look at I'm a Bad Boy. And I also think Triple Diamonds is really interesting. If you can get any kind of a price on him, he, won his first 2 races, and then he tried the Baffle last time, which he was no match, but that was open horses. He's back to Calbreds now. He's going to try dirt for the first time, but Mark Glatt is no dummy. He's not going to put something on the dirt that doesn't make any sense, right? He sees his horse work and gallop on the dirt every single day, every single week. So he knows how he's going to handle it. It's not going to be like, oh gosh, I just didn't think that, I didn't know he was not going to like the dirt. Like, you have an inkling at this point if he does or doesn't.
2-1, the numbers you mentioned, 5-1 potentially on that interesting Triple Diamonds idea. And you're the one who made the point to me that this has always stuck with me, that so many of these Calbred pedigrees, just the way the breed has evolved in California specifically, seem like they are dual surface. So that gives me some hope that one will make the adjustment as well. Let's get to some graded stakes action in the form of the Santa Anita Oaks. going this mile and a 16th around Santa. And my first quickest look at the race, I thought Tenma was kind of a standout. But then the more I looked,
Oof.
the more I liked
Yeah.
another runner in here.
Oh, I'm interested to know who your other runner is, but
Well, I think there's going to be plenty of speed in
yeah.
this spot, right? A
Yeah.
runner like Silent Law's got a ton of it. Doesn't it set up real
For vodka with a
nice?
twist.
Exactly. Not
Yeah.
only a fine cocktail, don't worry about the last run. That was all the way back in December. Had so much time to improve since then. And if you look at the back numbers and add in figure improvement for age, fits like a glove, should trip
Mhm.
out beautifully. Now, I just see the work tab. And to me, the work tab looks like it's indicating readiness for this return to the races. But you watch these replays. I was curious to know if you've seen anything on there that makes you think she could be ready to rock first up in 2025.
Yeah, I think that vodka with a twist, look, they got pretty ambitious with placement as far as a return race goes. Not that we write an awful lot of any other kind of races for straight 3-year-olds, but Phil D'Amato has strings at 3 different racetracks, right? So he could have easily sent her somewhere else, and he
Yeah.
opts for this particular spot. She didn't have an injury or anything. She got a little bit of a sickness, and so I love the fact that she is back in full effect here. Like you mentioned, her works look really good, and D'Amato doesn't work his horses wicked fast. So she has a couple of very quick, very catty works in there. And I can draw a line through that last effort and say that she can improve from there. I agree with you as far as that goes. I think that she certainly should sit the perfect trip in here. And I think she's got a ton of upside. She's probably going to be my pick just because I think her price is going to be spot on. Because, like you said, if everyone's going to bet on Tenma, who looks, indefatigable at this particular moment in time, doesn't look like she wants to stop or anything, but there is also other speed horses in here that she'll have to contend with, and I don't know how content she is to sit off, and I know vodka with a twist is going to be coming late.
Let's go to the next race in the double, the Monrovia Grade 3 action for 4 and up. Fillies and mares going down the hill. This one I can't get cute. I love horses for courses down the hill, and just doesn't number 6 Queen Maxima look like one of those? Stakes placed over this course and distance in just the 3rd career start, and then imperious in victory last time. Perfect trip seems likely. Only thing not to like is the price, but I'd be lying if I said the race was going through anybody else. I'm about the chalk here in race 5. How do you see it?
I like Queen Maxima. I'm a huge Buchero fan. I pretty much wear like a team Buchero shirt every day of my life. And I'm just thrilled to see her doing so well out here. You take out her mile race where she obviously didn't want to go that far, and they have just absolutely done wonders with her. Even when she's not winning, she's running super good races. She's obviously proven down the hill. You're going to get JJ Hernandez, our meet leading rider, on. She's won 3 in a row, which I feel like it's hard to kind of make that turn and start winning 4 and 5 in the row, but she is strictly the horse to beat. Despite the fact that she's won 2 in a row, I can't get behind Benghazi because going into that allowance off of the bench, I'm like, she's never run like a good race to me, and I know she's had like back-to-back good races now, but I'm like, I cannot like get behind her and all of a sudden just say like, yes, I love her now. I have to kind of stick with my guns, and to me, my guns is Queen Maxima.
When you're siding with the chalk, I know they're live, so I feel
Ex-
like I'm on the right horse. We'll continue going back to the listed class. Calbred stuff happening here with the 3-year-old fillies in the evening jewel stakes, and we've got some family participation from you in this spot. I'm very interested in this runner, number 8 Gold Currency. I mean, it's not going to be easy to carry the speed from 5.5 to 6.5, especially how blazing fast she went out
Mhm.
there last time. But she should be in front, turning in. And I don't know. I think there's a chance she can stay there. I'm very interested in her as an alternative to the ultra logical number 3, America's Mark. Let's start with just generally speaking, how Gold Currency is doing and what you think of this race.
Yeah, Gold Currency is doing really well, and we've been trying to slow her down. At least that's what Ryan's saying. I think that you
Yeah.
can see they were pretty successful on March 17th by really slowing her down. So it's not that they want to take any of her natural speed away. It was just more to teach her a little bit more rateability. I know the comment line says that she drifted and she was tired, but honestly, she likes to get out and she gets green when she gets out in front. So in the mornings, Ryan's been trying to put her behind some horses and give her some targets so that to overcome some of that greenness, because some of her drifting was not just the fact that she was, was tired. It was because she was out there and she was like, what's going on, so a lot of that is just mental maturation that we're kind of searching for with her there. I think this is an ambitious spot because of the distance, and obviously she's a one start, one race filly, and everybody else in this field has so many more outs, so she's up against it from two standpoints. One is her first time versus winners, and two is she doesn't even have like 7 maiden races to fall back on. I mean, some of these horses took 4 or 5 starts to break their maiden, and then they come in here and they're like, oh yeah, we've run a bunch of times. And with her, it's the opposite. So it certainly is a challenge, but she's been training really well coming into it. And the fact that the favorite is kind of a turf horse, right? Because her dirt race wasn't great. I mean, lends you a little bit of hope that maybe she's not going to fire on the dirt.
Yeah. What about number 4 In the Air Tonight as an alternative? One who's shown a pretty nice amount of closing kick for a 3-year-old Calbred filly. Do you see her as a serious contender? This is the form of the barn. Steve Knapp wins so many races, but hasn't been going great of late. That's my one little pause there, but that would be another one I want on some tickets.
I like In the Air Tonight, but I feel like sometimes we run into this with the Calbreds, especially, is that they're super precocious. Like, look at Hot Girl Walk is similar too, right? They're super precocious. They get out there and they win races early, and then everybody else kind of catches up. And time has been the great equalizer for a lot of these fillies. So, like in the example of In the Air Tonight, a lot of the fillies caught up to her, and when she ran second to Hey Jessie, I feel like Hey Jessie is a really, really legitimate racehorse. Like, she can beat open horses. But then, In the Air Tonight, I feel like needs the best trip, everything to kind of come together for her to win. But can she pick up a check? 100%. I wouldn't count her off of if you're playing, any kind of exotic type wagers. She just does have to step up to get the W.
If I held your feet to the fire for a pick, would you just go with the home team and stick with me?
Well, I'm a really stickler for my handicapping rules, right? I have my hard and fast, and
How do you do it?
I don't like first time versus winners.
Okay,
Even if
gotcha.
we're talking about with the sole exception of if you break your maiden for a claiming tag and you cut the claiming tag in half and come back
Sure.
for a non-winners
Against non-winners of 2 lifetimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you break your maiden for 50 and you come back 25 non-2, in that aspect, I will give you a bigger tick. But for the most part, I am anti first time versus winners, especially with second time starters, because I just feel like it sets them up to just make so many mistakes, and it's a really bad time to try to make mistakes.
All right. Well, so that's a fair reason for that. You told me an anti-case on the 3 and the 4. Give me a positive here.
Who do I like in here? Golly. I mean, look, you like America's Mark because her last 2 races are good and she's consistent, but obviously we don't know if she's going to run as good on the dirt, right?
And the favorite. That doesn't seem like a Michelle kind of horse to pick.
I mean, I would probably hope that In the Air Tonight just hits the board.
I'm going to put down no opinion. For the notes I send out to our In the Money Plus people, I'm going to say, listen to the show, no real opinion. That's
no, I don't really. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a good race. It should be enough pace for the closures to run into. There's horses that want to run into pace. There's horses that have been on win streaks. I mean, both the Doug's horses are intriguing, and Doug jumps up with these horses that you're like, yeah, that horse broke its maiden for $3,000. It has no chance, and he wins a graded stake. So, can you count out the Doug horses? That's really hard for me to do. For me in this race, I'll probably wait and take a look at how they all look in the paddock, especially because we haven't seen a lot of them in a couple of months, just because the 3-year-old options that we have are not in abundance. So it looks like they're all coming off, or a lot of them come off breaks when really there's just not a lot of racing for them, and see who looks fit and ready.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Sorry if you're watching and I have I'm
a lot of good that does us.
I know, sorry. I suck.
A race you're sure to have an opinion on. I'm going to say one of the more interesting, maybe the most interesting 5-horse field I've seen in years, because you can have long conversations about 4 of them. Who are you picking in this Santa Anita Derby?
Okay, so I do think that we're getting a lot of hate for this being like a 5-horse field. It is the toughest 5-horse field ever. This is going to be like, I feel like this race of all the last 4 Derby preps is going to probably send out your Derby favorite, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, look, Sandman looked really good, and now everyone's coming back like, oh, he didn't run fast enough, right? Horses that run in the wood and stuff, and the bluegrass, they haven't necessarily been formful to have the winners of those races win the Kentucky Derby. So I feel like those are, a little bit of salt taken with that. And then Sovereignty getting beat. Everyone's like, oh, is it Tepin Street? Is it not? So this is the race that, like, we're going to have a winner, and that horse is going to be like the Derby horse, right? So all that being said, do I get to have asterisks or no?
No asterisk. You're going strong here.
Okay. I am going to pick Citizen Bull because I think he's going to be the better price between him and Journalism. And all he's done is throw down and win. I also feel like if Journalism wins, I'm not shocked at all. He was so impressive last time out. And I feel like Journalism is here right now, and he's going to be here, right? Journalism has so much room for growth. I feel like we know what Citizen Bull is, and he is good and he's logical. And I just feel like his price is going to be so much better. Do I want to play Journalism at 1 to 5?
I don't think he'll be that
You don't
short.
think he'll be that low? What do you think he's going to be? I mean, if you get 2 to 1, then you're good.
Yeah, I don't think he'll.
I don't think you're going to get 2 to 1
between
though.
those two numbers. It's going to be even money. Even money.
So, do I want to play at even money? I don't know.
I like him here. I'll go oppo you in this one and take Journalism to your Citizen Bull. And I think
that's stepping out on a ledge there, Pete.
I've been talking about this horse for months.
I love this horse, and I was he gave me goosebumps watching him in that last race, and I cheer for Team Eclipse, and I think Michael McCarthy is fantastic. So, like, I will be, if it comes down to 2 of them, I'm just cheering as a horse racing fan.
It'll be a great race.
Handicapping angle, I'm going to pick Citizen Bull because I think his price is going to be better. Now, if for some crazy reason he's even money and Journalism is 2 to 1 or higher, I'm all in on Journalism at that point.
I would not be holding your breath on that one. I mean, I think Journalism coming off the 107 figure is your clear favorite here. But I think the interesting thing to me, and the reason I'm okay with going with Journalism here, is that I think Baeza, I don't think he's going to be winging out there on the lead. I would imagine Citizen Bull will take the lead. Barnes will take back a little bit, I would guess.
Yes.
Those Baffert team tactics throughout these Triple Crown preps. But Baez is the one who I think can at least attack on the turn, and he looks so talented. I really want to get your opinion on him. But, this $1.2 million horse, so unusual to see John Sheriff's pitching a maiden winner right into the grade 1 level. He's doing it with a maiden here too, which is another conversation potentially in the form of Westwood. But I think that's going to put enough pressure. I mean, if Barnes didn't beat Journalism the last day, I don't think he's ever supposed to beat Journalism if Journalism is right. But I think that Baez is the interesting one. And I'm just not, Citizen Bull, I voted for him for 2-year-old champion. I thought he ran great last time. I don't think he's faced much pressure on the lead in the last couple, and I don't think he's faced a horse as good as Journalism. So I'm comfortable going the other way. So my follow-ups, you mentioned the goosebumps with Journalism. You mentioned predicting he's here and going to go here. Are you referring to his physicality? Or are you referring to what he did on the clock? All of the above, the vibes around him? Talk to me about Journalism.
I mean, like, even when he debuted, you could tell that was a horse that wanted to go further. Knowing that he was not even close to 100% ready to go in the San Felipe, and he gave us the effort that he gave us. I mean, that just to me shows that you have so much upside for horse. I felt like watching him run down the lane, Pete. He didn't even look like he was trying. Like, he just effortlessly blew everybody. Look, it took him some try on the turn, like, to get into like a gear. And then once he got a gear, he was just like, oh, this is so easy. It's no problem. Right. And he's almost like he's not even close to battle tested, because he's just like, oh, whatever. But, to play devil's advocate to you, you say Citizen Bull hasn't really faced anybody, but he's beat the exact same horses that Journalism has. He's been beaten Getaway Car and Gaming.
Barnes, I think, might be another level.
You think? You think Barnes could be better than Citizen Bull?
Yeah, I think if they had different trainers, I'd like Barnes over Citizen Bull.
Really?
But I worry that Barnes tactically is not going to be able to use what I see as his best weapon, his early speed, because of team tactics.
I feel like that's a mistake, because if you go back and watch him in the San Felipe when he was on the lead, which is the only race he was on the lead, right?
Well, I mean, he
That
was
was a
ahead off in the San
He
Vicente
wasn't
at
on the
7
lead though.
furlongs.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the lead. You're saying that's his best weapon is his speed. They didn't go like ultra fast. He wasn't like throwing down on the lead. He was kind of out there like, oh, I could do this.
You
I
might be
mean,
right. He
Baffert
could
horses
rate.
can go 23:47 all day long without
Yeah.
even breaking a sweat. For him, that's a common canter.
Yeah,
You
you
know?
could be right. If he settles and wins, that's actually probably better for him down the line as a Derby contender, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I certainly think that's the case. And to go back to Baiza, when when he broke his maiden last time, I literally my turn to Zoe and I said, "That's your Santa Anita Derby winner." Like I didn't even
And
think
now
about
you're
another
getting
horse at
off
that
that.
point because he looked so good. But then when you go back and watch him more, he's so green, right? Like he was so far in front, and he totally was like, I thought at one point he like I don't know, might jump over the rail and go fight in the Lucha Libre contest. I thought he was like checking out everything I hear. He's like, oh, there's hot dogs for $1. This looks amazing. I mean,
Micheladas.
yeah, right. Talk about a horse that has some upside. And you look at his family, right? So he's the half brother to Dornoch, who won the Belmont. He's the half brother to Mage, who won the Derby. Neither of them won their penultimate Derby prep races. You know what I mean? They came into the Derby off losses, or into their respective Triple Crown
Yes.
victories off losses. And I feel like this horse could also be that type where he could run an absolute banger here, just be figuring himself out, and then he could all get it together and win one of these big classics. But I would not be surprised to have him run third in here with a really good effort, and he just needs some mental, forwardness, and he still has room to grow. And he costs $1.2 million. Don't get me wrong, he is beautiful, but you can already see he's gonna be like a man. Like he
Interesting.
came out like a really good college looking guy, but like when he grows up, he's gonna be like Henry Cavill, okay? Like this horse is so good looking, and you can tell though he's good looking and he hasn't hit his like A game yet.
Fantastic. It's great analysis. He's going to have to run first or second, I would think, to make the Derby field, but maybe an unusual
Look,
Belmont
maybe
horse, or
what if he skips Derby and wins the Preakness?
that's would be possible. He'll get in there. He'd get
I
in there
mean,
if they want to try
I
that
feel
route.
like that horse could do that and win. And then how cool would that be for Puka to have a Triple Crown like of her own, right? She has a Derby winner, a Belmont winner, and then a Preakness winner. I think that would be awesome. That's just me.
Unprecedented in breeding history. What great analysis as ever, Michelle. We're going to have you back next week so you can beat us again in the Triple Crown draft. But this was so much fun. Really appreciate you making it happen. And I like the stylish 90th anniversary Santa
Yeah.
Anita gilet there. I've got the old.
Oh, you said gilet.
What's that?
You said gilet. It's so British of you.
Isn't that what it is?
The vest. We call
Vest.
it
All right, it's a
here.
vest. Okay, when it's horsey. I think you're right.
I like
it is.
gilet.
It's British, but when
It
it's
took
horsey,
me like
I
a
call it
year to figure out what the hell a gilet was, but once I found it out, I'm like, oh, that's good. I wear those every day.
great stuff. We'll be talking soon, my friend.
Thank you.